Good morning, and glad to have you on the program Perspectives. This morning on the program Perspectives, we'll be looking at Nigeria and all the things that have gone wrong, and from when it started, and of course, how to get ourselves out of wounds. And talking with me this morning, I'll be doing a phone call to the initiator of character reformation and integration in Nigeria. Now, that again would be said to be the problem of Nigeria, character reformation and integration in Nigeria. We see the pitfalls here, and we're looking for ways and avenues to, tackle all of these issues coming out of the Nigerian state. My guest this morning by phone is Andrew Ajayi. Andrew Ajayi is the initiator, character reformation and integration in Nigeria. Andrew Ajayi, good morning and glad to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, my big brother Tony Aladin. I also say good morning to the listening audience out there, and good morning to your crew members.
Yes, and I should add too that Andrew Ajayi is the commentator on national and international matters. He is my guest this morning. Andrew Ajayi, so many problems and issues coming out of the Nigerian state to an extent that we have it today that some people are saying Nigeria is at a brink. And we must do all we can not to allow it to tilt over, And so, finding a way to help us out of the Nigerian situation. There's anger in the land. There's hunger too in the land. There is suspicion in the polity. There's religious intimidations that we're having. Leadership has its problems, and there's so many things that we can say are going wrong about us as a people and the Nigerian state. What went wrong? How did we get here? So much so that we're saying that we are at a brink today.
Well, I thank you very much, my brother. It's a pleasure to have another chance to discuss issues of Nigeria. And I must sound a caveat emptor here to say that whatever I say today is based on my civil society drive for a better Nigerian society. We are not affiliated to any political party or any political institution, but we think as a civil society body that truly wants Nigeria, our fatherland and nation, to be a better place. The reason I say this is because people are too quick to want to, classify you as an agent of one political party or the other once they see that you are saying certain things that does not, suit them, or maybe trying to actually say the truth. So I will be saying the gospel truth here today because I know I have the capacity to stand alone, even when I am vilified. So I want to say that of the truth, since 1960 till today, although I wasn't born then, I was born in the early 70s, okay, so that I'm approaching my 5th decade now as a man. I want to say that so far, so good. Nigeria's development has been haphazard. The caterpillars of development that we think should have been rolled out since 1960 to today to develop Nigeria for Nigerians and by Nigerians has been stagnated or broken down as a result of battery problem or engine problem at one point in time or the other, that the drivers or the engineers of these vehicles have refused to actually fix or situate the problems rightly and begin to provide solutions. For me, so far so good. Nigeria, we have seen a lot of deceit, deception among the various ethnic groups and the various political parties. The reason I say this is because how can we be a nation of 260 ethnic groups and over 374 languages of people that are supposed to be welded together in making sure that all citizens of different tribes and religion, all citizens of whatever educational background or even non-educational background are welded together to continue to provide development for themselves, the way China has singled out itself in the Committee of Nations to now become the #1 economy in the world, even though they are still deceiving America to make America feel that they are the #1 economy. China is actually, for me, the world #1 economy today, because they have all manner of production. There is peace in China. Corruption is not in existence in China, because if as a political leader, you find yourself in power and you begin to acquire, your fingers are so long that you are not dipping your hands in public funds, the way we see leaders of Nigeria, ministers, director general, name them, of governors, local government chairmen, dipping their hands into the resources that is actually meant for state, local government, and national development, stealing them away and putting them in foreign banks. And the foreign bankers will be looking at us and say, oh, what a fool of people that rob their nation to come and keep in our bank to boost our own economy. China is not doing that. That is why China is growing today. If we have such a situation in our country so far, you can now see that Nigerians, including their leaders, are actually the problem of Nigeria. This is one of the fundamental aspects I think we should be able to engage ourselves and applying the principles of character reformation to solve. And when you apply the principles of character reformation, coming to understand morality of the fact that whatever a leader, whatever a citizen will struggle to acquire, legitimately or illegitimately, are you getting me, that when they die, they will not go to the graveyard with, such. If people have that good understanding, they will know that there is no need to govern in financial misappropriations. They will know that there is no need to involve in favoritism and nepotism. Are you getting me, in leadership of national, state, and local government, the way it has been the case of Nigeria?
Could we go back to could we go back to our founding days? I'm talking about putting Nigeria together as a nation today. That were the fault lines there about getting us all together from the from the foundation, and that's why we probably are in the situation we are finding ourselves today.
Let me be very honest with you, my dear brother Tony. As a growing up philosophy undergraduate in the University of Benin in those days, and also during my course of trying to study a master's degree program in peace studies and conflict resolution, I was wondering what happened to Nigeria. When Nigeria wanted to gain independence, you see all the activists, all the politicians, they ganged up against Britain. And Britain they were forced to now declare us a political independent country. And since that time, when the British administrators left us to ourselves, almost immediately we started having problems as to how to govern and rule ourselves. What happened to us is because the 4 leaders we had at that time were hypocrites. They deceived themselves. They were never true to themselves as to how to, plan afterwards, having gained political independence, to now prepare for the leadership of the land called Nigeria. They only gathered together to say, oh, let Britain go. Yes, Britain went. And when it came to, self-rule and the proper governance, they didn't plan for such. Because if they planned for such, as soon as the British left, they would have organized themselves in such a way that Nigeria will now become the hub of the new development that will become a world power, springing up from Africa to now also be competing with global world power and economy. But as the case is today, we have been so relegated to the background as a result of our non-preparedness in this state that I told you. And I was also going to say further, there has been deception in terms of the political arrangement of this country. Because even on this your program, I have advocated severally to say that for us to bring peace, equity, and proper integration in this country, that the political setting should be such that we now have, deliberate recognition of zoning arrangement of the presidency of this country, even in the states. The state too should have a deliberate arrangement of zoning of political power from one senatorial district to the other. Are you getting me? Recognizing the various tribes and religion. If you tell us, let us come together. Let us come together as a people. I told you earlier, we are over 250 ethnic groups and 374 languages. And one particular or two ethnic groups are now coming to prove superiority, to prove dominance over the rest. Or one religion is now trying to prove dominance over the rest. How do you think that we will continue to be welded together or united? There will be mutual ethnic and religious suspicion. That is actually what is happening in Nigeria today. If you read the social media so far so good, you will see that there is apprehension in the land. People don't even know what is happening because there is a particular suspicion, and the handwritings and actions are on the wall that a particular ethnic group is planning clandestine moves since 1960 to today to claim to Nigeria.
But where is leadership? Where is leadership or leadership's role in all of this?
That is what I am trying to tell you. You try to deceive people that you are in one country, but at the same time underneath it, you are doing one thing or the other. That is stating clearly to the people that you indeed truly have a secret agenda to conquer all other ethnic groups under your stool, and at the end of the day continue to claim dominance. If not, what explains for the kidnapping, the banditry, the Boko Haram that we see in our nation today? Hitherto, all these things were not there. They were not there. All of a sudden, Nigerians became a nation where fear and apprehension, insecurity became the order of the day. So for me, I think that if we truly think we want to make this country a better place, we must have leadership that are selfless, that are not selfish, leadership that don't behave in nepotism, in favoritism, in their consciousness, only to be speaking from the two sides of their mouths. Because in most cases, leadership today in Nigeria, they speak from the two sides of their mouth. They are telling you this in the morning that we are united, but under their clandestine behavior at the midnight, they are planning strategies and stratagems to conquer the other tribes in the country. Why won't the other tribes of the country begin to be apprehensive? Why wouldn't they cry to say, oh no, world community, come and help us? It looks as if certain things are happening in Nigeria. That is why in 2002 to 2003, God led in my mind to say, let us begin to talk about character reformation and integration in Nigeria. Because a situation whereby we live in Nigeria, I will not allow you, a northerner, to come to my home, I will suspect you, or you will not even allow a southerner to come to your home, we suspect you, have reached an alarming crescendo that must be stopped henceforth.
Yes. We are on a democratic process, and democracy allows for voices to come from all over, and of course to continue to move the nation forward. This democracy that we're on is a borrowed democracy, as some people would say, but again, our democracy is just peculiar to us as a people. Where did we get it wrong? We go to the polls to elect our leaders, and yet, we complain about the leaders that we get today. So what fundamentally is wrong with our process of elections?
Thank you very much. You see, ethics, morality, which is the science of right and wrong, is the tonic that is fundamentally, removed from the consciousness of the Nigerian, that makes us to look as if we don't know our left from our right. Are you getting me? And any nation that relegates morality, the understanding and practice of morality, to the background will become a nation like Nigeria that will be full of various types of lamentation. And that is the state that we are today. But relating it to the electoral system, democracy actually, as practiced by the United States of America, as defined as well, says it is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Is that really the practice today? Yes, it is true that we are in civil rule, but we are not yet in democracy, because democracy has its fundamental principles. Okay, and Nigeria as a country is shying away from the practice of democracy, because if you say you are going to make people, have the right to vote and be voted for in the nation, you must follow the principles totally. But here in Nigeria, the judiciary at every level, tribunals at every level, help candidates who the citizens never voted for to become governors, local government chairman. Are you getting me? Courts as well helps presidents, for instance, who the people truly did not vote for by way of two-thirds majority, to now give them verdicts to say that they are the president of the land. If you say that democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people of Nigeria, their votes don't count, because you will see politicians and their political party, they will organize talks as food soldiers. Once the election starts, bam, you will see them hijacking ballot papers and the entire processes from the hands of the young youth corps member who is trained to be the presiding officer. Because Nigeria look at the youth as a young person who is yet to be corrupted, even though there is one thing or the other concerning this statement of mine. So the youth corps member is actually supposed to be the epitome of the cleanliness of Nigeria. But you see Nigeria, the politicians and the political parties, they will bribe all their way through. Then they will use their talk to snag ballot paper to go and be seriously compressing massively inside the house or nearby the polling unit, whereas even the security agencies of the police have also been given something to look the other way. You will even see army being brought in, because I witnessed some in Rivers State, and I was shocked. I said, oh my God, what is this? What is happening to our nation? Is this how Australia practices their democracy? Is this how England practices their democracy? Is this how the United States practice their democracy? If you ask me, the answer is no. But that is what we have in the land. A situation where the politician and the political party has in their innate abilities to drive all the processes through, including to the office of the INEC chairman, to either dangle a second tenure appointment to them or saying, Rep, we will give you a second tenure and all of this. I don't think all this happens in these foreign countries that I have mentioned. So the people themselves that constitute the very fulcrum of democracy have been denied. Their votes does not count. A situation where people go to vote, when it is now time to compute results, it is the completed ballot boxes by a few individuals and their political parties that now counts. Then what type of democracy are we practicing? If we truly want Nigeria to be a very great country, I think we must allow the open process where the people's vote will count, where people will no longer look for huge sums of money in billions to bribe their way through the political process, and now be boasting afterwards to say, we spent 10 billion, we did this, we did that, we were able to conquer, come, let us celebrate. And when they get to political power, they will not serve the people because they bought their way through. Some could even take a loan from the bank. Some could even have one money bag to bring in the money, and they use it vote to bribing everybody. When they come, they will inflate the cost of projects. The cost of building a small stadium that's ordinarily a project that could cost 1.5 billion in China, that is almost monumental when we see it. When you come to Nigeria here, they will tell you that that particular project to be executed in Nigeria here is like $10 billion. At the end of the day, when you go to check the true actual cost, you will see that the leadership has robbed Nigeria as a country and Nigerians as a people of the $8.5 billion. What do they do with that money? Cars, houses, keeping them in foreign lands. China don't do this. United States of America don't do this. England don't even do it. So these are the major differences between the Nigerian democracy and the democracy of the Western world, where we even copied from. So I am thinking particularly that democracy can become better in Nigeria. It's even a very good way. It's a good system of electing leadership. Because how else will you elect leadership in Nigeria? Is it by theocracy, where you say, okay, God said we should go and pick woman from one state to come and be leaders? People will not agree to that. As long as you have one enlightened sons and daughters of various communities in the country, I think we should allow the people to continue to select and give, programs, short and long-term, range programs to the people they have elected. And if they feel that the people are not leading them well, the people also have the reserve right to remove them from office and put in another new set of persons. But a situation where you have a democratic system of government where the people are subjugated, even through their representative at the Senate and House of Reps or House of Assembly or even the councillors, people are not even consulted before they run projects for them.
But
then how do you think the democracy will work?
If we do put the blame on those type of leadership, where is that of followership? Because in all of this, again, we're talking about the people, and the people again have come, to say that this is what they want. So, are we gullible people that we don't know our right from wrong? Just what is wrong with the people too here?
Yes, if you say that the people are gullible, you said it exactly as it is. Nigeria is a situation whereby people are even afraid to speak today because leadership will hunt you using the DSS, even using the police, or even using one secret means or the other to make sure you didn't talk.
Would that be fair? Would that be a fair statement, Andrew Ajayi?
No. Let's not continue to.
No, would it just be fair? I mean, but much as we know it, Nigeria still has, freedom to a large extent than we see in other countries too.
Look, we are looking for a country where we will be great. You and I were in this country, even during the military era and some military era where some persons will speak. Before you say that Robinson, they killed the person, they've gone to arrest the person with DSS. Even in the social media, you see during the military regime, it was there. People were afraid. Even those who were talking had to run out of the country. So all these things are there. So if you say the people are gullible, yes, indeed, it is true. Because I have been one advocate of the fact that we have a Nigerian citizens that are deliberately kept not to become knowledgeable of so many things that are happening, so that the few elites who think that it is only them that has access, that should have access to power, will now continue to be there. It's unfortunate because when you are in a democracy should be open secret in all ramifications. When somebody is doing certain things that is wrong, even though the person is governor or any president or local government or DG of anything, you should be able to say, hey, look, because we are the people, please, what you are doing is wrong. What you are doing is right, to appreciate you. Where it is wrong, we'll say, no, you are not doing well. But when you try to say that in your society, you have to look for all the whole idiomatic expressions in English. You have to look for the whole diplomatic songs to be able to say certain things. And we don't even know whether those idiomatic expressions and diplomatic tongues are being understood by the people you are sending messages to. That is the type of country we live in. So I think the people by themselves must rise up to the occasion and become a conscious people, reading more about the practices of democracy, reading more about social issues that bond us together, and reading more about economic issues that will make our country grow. Dear Brother Tony, I want to tell you, in recent times, I don't like watching this particular satellite TV provider. I don't want to mention their names because I feel they exploit Nigerians too much. But in recent times, I have started watching a particular television station called the CGTN, China Global Network Television. Look at all manner of development that is going on there. Look at all manner of development that is going on there. But in our own local TV stations and possibly radio stations here, what do we get? Propaganda that doesn't even say the right things for us to see. At this stage of our life, as the leader of Africa, that I think Nigeria is, we are supposed to be the leader in all ramifications, in science and technology, in industrialization and manufacturing, to keep our youth busy. Youth in Nigeria, there are many, including our children. What have we been able to give to them via leadership? Today, I read somewhere in one particular newspaper that a particular son of a particular president is now the number 4th richest child, youth in the whole world. And I wondered, I said, oh, what has happened to my country? So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? A lot of youths are in Yahoo fraud, using a fake website to defraud gullible people who are also greedy people as well. and they defraud them to now have plenty money, Range Rover cars, wearing trousers in the waist called sagging, using it to look for girls all over the place. Is that what development is all about? So you can see that we need what I call changing orientations, changing the behavioral patterns of our people. Are they Christians? Are they Muslims? Are they animists? Are people who don't even believe in God? Can people say China don't believe in God and they don't even have a lot of Christians worshiping in China? But if you look at what China has done for themselves, you will even see that they are even closer to God than we Nigerians that have the plenty churches and the plenty mosques here and there. So what are we doing? Almost everything we consume in this country is now from China. And yet we don't have any blueprint that we sit down to nationally plan for ourselves, to nationally plan, bringing in all politicians, all political parties, civil society people to say, in the next 5 to 10 years, what do we need Nigeria to be in the area of science, in the area of technology, in the area of youth empowerment and employment? What are we doing? What are we doing, my brother Toyi? That is the country I am calling for character reformation, with all of this that I have said to you this moment so far.
Okay, Andrew Ajayi, I will just have to, take a break here. We'll be back with you when we come back from this commercial break. The program is Perspectives this morning. It's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. And Andrew Ajayi, the initiator of character reformation and integration in Nigeria, my guest by phone. We'll come back after this break. Welcome back. Is the program Perspectives, and we're talking about the Nigerian situation, of course, the Nigerian state today, and sharing thoughts with that. With us this morning, we have Andrew Ajayi, initiator of character, one of the greatest in Nigeria. I talked about, had written about there was a country. We've also had other writers who talked about Cry My Beloved Country. And of course, so many, African authors that talked about the situation in Africa. And of course, we're talking about our Nigerian greats too. What, were saying things about the Nigerian nation, how to get it right. We are at a point now that Nigeria is at a brink. And of course, we're told to do all we can to salvage the situation that we have here. And blame is put on leadership. Andrew Ajayi, just before we went on that break, you talked about the youths of Nigeria. Now, for any nation, the youths are, like the engine room for development of any nation. And so your concerns here about the Nigerian youth and how they are turning out. Our education system is, some people will say, is bad. But again, we have great Nigerians all over the world, doing exploits, and performing feats in science, technology, and the arts too. That's Nigeria for you. Now when we have a mix of all of this, and that we can get from every region of the country, and of course putting us together too as a people. So I just would ask you at this time that character reformation and integration, that you are the initiator, and your focus about how the Nigerian youth in the southwest or the southeast or south or in the north or in north central can see themselves as a youth for development and not youths for one region or section. Just what must we put together here?
Thank you very much. You see, I am one incurable optimist about the fact that Nigeria will be a very great nation. That is why since 2003, God gave me the initiative to say, let's start talking about character reformation in Nigeria. For many people who have been listening, they know we have been contributing. But I don't know whether I am having that optimism anymore because of the way I see the current consciousness in us, especially when people come to leadership. What they tell us is not what, before we voted for them, it's not what we see them implementing. It's another thing we see them implementing. I don't know whether I am optimistic about Nigeria anymore. And you will not blame me for that. Even when I am sick and I am not strong, I will keep talking about Nigeria. Even my family members will say, are you not going to rest? I say, we only have one country now. That is where we can stay to make it better. What are these? So relating it with the youth. For instance, look at the end-tax protest that came the other side, organized somewhere along the lines of other youths were brought in by some government officials to cause katakata, to make it look as if it is the youths that are now doing nonsense. Hoodlums capitalized on it. At least we saw all these things in the social media, how thugs were coming down from black children here and there in the various vehicles that dropped them, how bosses hired youths, people hired bosses to bring youths during the NSAS protest. So what type of leadership is that? Are you getting me? And let me also tell you, if we have in Nigeria, henceforth progressing the issue of companies, industries, where there is manufacturing, industrialization, where people can work, do you think as youth have employment in these sectors that I am mentioning that are absent today, if they have work, do you think if people call them to say, yeah, come and join, take this 2,000 or 3,000 to come and cause electoral fraud, to come and cause violence among the genuine protesters, do you think people will follow? Or even youth who legitimately have work to do, if some people are even trying to mislead them about what is happening in the society, they will not abandon their work to go and be joining in such a hoodlum activity, protest. Because when people come out to protest, they have their legitimate right to do so. But how can we now use evil people to go and permeate their means and destroy them so that evil will continue in the land? So let us have that. Let us re-examine our character. Let us re-examine the way we think. I speak to you today, Brother Tony. I am saying it categorically that Nigeria as a country does not have a blueprint of how it wants to develop. Nigeria as a country does not have a roadmap as to how it wants to develop. That is why when the president leaves office, the next one comes and scatter all the things that one has put in place, giving the public the impression that president or governor didn't know what he or she was doing when they were in power. Then they will now start to build from the scratch. But if the country, the state, the local government has blueprints, just like the way China is doing, roadmap, then you will see that no one president or governor or local government chairman will leave office only for another one to come and take over from him and be discouraging him and be undoing all the things that particular governor, president, or local government chairman has done. That is what is happening in Nigeria. And if you agree with me, you will come to realize that such a people and a nation does not have a blueprint or a roadmap. That is why I chose to talk to you, agreed when you approached me to talk to you on this program today. Even when I was tired, you encouraged me. You said, Andrew, please don't be tired. It is well with our country. We will continue to march forward. It is in that spirit I'm using to discuss with you today. Are you getting me? So I think we must sit down, irrespective of the political parties that we say we have in Nigeria, bringing in the eggheads. Are you getting me? Who think that they want this country to be a better place? They may belong to your political party. They may not belong to your political party. But we call it a national forum for Nigeria's development.
I thought we had that at the time. I mean, we've had conferences, we've had Nigerians sitting on the table to discuss the future of the country. But some people would say just what has come out of it. It's like what you're saying, that we take 2 steps forward and maybe 10 steps backward too. So what is wrong, or what have been wrong with the conferences and round table talks that we've had in the past?
This question you ask me now is for the generality of Nigerians. So I don't need to answer that question. So people who are listening to this program now, you have asked them that question. So also I'm also asking to say, can we go to our gazettes and remove all those things and see them and begin to work with them? You see, the reason I'm talking of a national blueprint, let it be on record that I advocated it. You see, of recent, in the last 3 weeks, the Chinese government has sat down in the political party they call CPC and CCPPC, discussing the next plan, roadmap, blueprint, agenda for China in the next 5 years to 10 years to come. Where is that of Nigeria? One man will come in with his vice president and his political party and the elected and the appointed ministers. They will begin to come and be doing jamboree. Selecting project. This is my ministry. This is my agency. I'm in charge here. I'm in charge here. You bring your families and friends, your brothers and sisters, your children to come and be raping the country. That is what we have been seeing in Nigeria. There has not been any national discussion that is periodical to set Nigeria on a roadmap. So say in this next so year, we shall achieve XYZ of railway, of industrialization in the 6th geopolitical zone, that will be manufacturing and producing cottons, that will be manufacturing and producing cocoa and chocolate, that will be manufacturing and producing cars of our own brand.
You're not rubbishing the national economic team. We've had that. We continue to have that.
Which economic team? I challenge them today to say, if truly we have an economic team, why is Nigeria still a beggarly nation? Why is the Nigerian naira fluctuating between 400 and something naira to 500 naira to $1, not to talk of €1 or £1 sterling? What type of nonsensical economic team that we have that has kept Nigeria in this current economic situation? The gari, 1 cup of gari, 1 cup of rice is 1 cup, a plate of food that you used to buy for token amounts before, as even a salary earner where you can manage to feed your family. Today, how much do we buy those things? Are you getting me? Nigeria is an economy where if you buy something for $1 today, you can't even be guaranteed in the next 30 minutes after that time you bought it, that when you go back to that thing, you still buy that thing you bought for $1 for the same $1. Everything skyrockets all the time. Look at the petrol that we produce. God gave us crude oil here. We have no refineries. Our 4 refineries are moribund. They continue to pile up billions and billions of naira to say we use in repairing these refineries. Yes, the refineries are not repaired. Yes, money goes into the thin air. Yes, we refine, take our crude oil here to Benin Republic, to Cote d'Ivoire, to South Africa or elsewhere to refine and bring back to the nation. The way we behave in terms of leadership, we behave as if we are cops. So it is very unfortunate. How much did we buy petrol sometime in this country? At least there was a time petrol was popularly sold for 65 naira. But as I speak to you, petrol is so expensive, up to 165 or 200 and something, even in Port Harcourt here. We see how filling station misbehave anyhow. Filling station owners will go and connive with people who are NEPA to say, you are giving people light all the time. You are giving people light all the time. You don't want us to sell our own petrol that we bought for people to use in their generation to power their homes. NEPA too will also be taking the light. It is only when NEPA want to collect money, PHCG or whatever they call themselves, when they want to collect bills from you, they will give you light for some time. Then after which they have done all these connections, they take back the light to continue to allow filling station owners to exploit citizens. What type of a nation is that? What type of economy is that? Nobody is monitoring anybody. Even the people you say work in DPR who are supposed to be monitoring price regulatory and whatever, because what do they monitor? A filling station owner can buy fuel today and put it. When government, for instance, say, okay, let's fuel price be increased, immediately you see them increasing. But when they say let it reduce, immediately they will not reduce, they will continue to sell. In some of us who are vocal, we tell them to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then maybe when you go back there the following 2 hours or 3 and you see that they have changed. That is the type of society we live in. That does not happen in China. That does not happen in the United States of America. Yes. Neither does it happen in Germany.
Andrew Ajayi, let me, at this point, just bring in the audience too. Let's have this conversation together.
Very well.
Yes,
very well.
So they can ask questions and make contributions to it. Numbers to call to be part of this program: 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Taking your calls now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
My greetings to Liberty. Mr. Family, my name is Musabala.
Thank you, Musabala.
Yes, your guests have spoken very well, but I want you to please shed more light on the issue of the citizen perception and sacrifice to national building.
Okay.
The earlier we understand that the damages done to this country by corruption, with a committed leadership and committed citizenship, we will not get it right in the next 20 years. What I mean is that our problem will not be solved completely the way we are looking at it. We don't just assume that we will build refineries overnight. We don't just assume that we will build all our neglected roads overnight. We can't just assume that all our hospitals will be put back overnight when we have long decades of massive and grand corruption, of which at that time, most of us were not bothered about it because we have money in our pocket. Why we talk much today is that we don't not have money again in our pocket, and that's what reminds us of our problem. We cannot allow those problems to run our country for these years, and now we'll be forcing some people to do it overnight. Okay. Please, can he explain our character change or character revolution towards national building?
Okay.
Good morning.
Okay. Oh, good morning, Musa. Andrew Ajayi, you heard that?
Yes, I heard him loud and clear. If I will respond quickly, or you want us to wait
please,
for more?
No, just go. Just respond to that now.
Okay, let me say that good greetings to the contributor. Well done. You are entitled to your own opinion and thoughts. You see, that is why in 2010, God laid in my heart to write a book entitled The Nigerian versus Corruption, Who Wins? Understanding how to be found worthy in character. Character reformation, the element for building a successful nation. These are two books I have written that are out there. If anybody is interested, you want to read, you could log up to me on Facebook, search for Andrew Ajayi, then we could get talking on that. In that particular resource material that I have been bothering to give to the youth to read, is because we are tired of talking. In that book, we try to build citizens. What citizens need to know. I defined patriotism, I defined sacrifice, I defined nation building, teamwork, and all other essential elements that should be inculcated into the Nigerian to grow up with and develop. The only part I have divergence with the caller is that where he said waking up overnight. Let me let you know that China woke up overnight and they are leading their country right. A people must be patriotic. A people must be loyal. A people must get themselves above stealing tendencies and wealth accumulation that we don't even need. All the things that our leaders, so-called leaders from 1960 to today, have acquired and are still acquiring. Let me tell them that they are going to leave it behind. Even their children, they think they are keeping it for, may not even need it, because that type of house would have been old-fashioned when their children have grown to become something to build their own. So when we begin to talk like this, we will now see that we are now a nation that is arriving. You can build your nation within a twinkle of an eye with the right policy, the right program, the right blueprint, so we can wake up. Okay, if we talk like this in year 2021, to say that we don't expect that the current leadership or leadership to come with build the nation just overnight, then when are we now saying that the nations will be built? Will the nation continually, will the nation continue to be a work in progress? Even though I know nations are work in progress, but there are certain work the nation can work quickly to help us to achieve. In 60 years, Nigeria is still grappling with health abnormalities in terms of infrastructure. Nigeria is still grappling with non-creation of industry for youth to work after their national youth service. Nigeria is still grappling. Brother Tony, I pray you are not sick today beyond the cure of paracetamol. I also pray that members of the public will not be sick beyond the cure of paracetamol. Go to the Nigerian hospitals. When you have diabetes, you have heart problem, you have kidney problem, you have liver, that is where you will cost this country to say that this country, those who have been ministers of health over the years have been thieves. Those who have
Andrew Ajayi, let me just, the callers are just, pumping in with calls.
It's all right.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Tony.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, your guests have really spoken well. We're talking about character reformation as is hammering on the program. There is no way a nation or a people reform their character without the right policies and laws. But what governs a nation or a people is law and policy and ability to enforce that law. Because what we are suffering in this nation is lack of law and implementation. We are only practicing government on paper and budgeting and spending. But we are not practicing government or democracy in real terms. Because democracy is being governed by a constitution. And that is the essence of having the judiciary. Once anybody goes contrary to what the law says, the person must face the law. In China and US and other places that you keep on hammering on, these places you can never do out of what the law says. And that is the reason why the present government in power is still following the same way. Because they were hammering on injustice, corruption, when they were on the floor, as we are today. That if they come to power, they are going to make sure things work right. And today, they came and they followed suit the same way they were crying that people were doing something that was wrong. And they followed the same way, forgetting the implementation of that law.
Okay.
Making the constitution first.
Yes,
so without constitution and the enforcing of it, there is nothing that can work in Nigeria, not our mind. We are not the problem.
Let me just...
thank you very much.
Andrew, please.
Yes, I want to thank the caller. He said very good on the matter. Let me remind the public, as a philosopher that I am, when we were studying ethics, morality, even in the books of philosophy, we were told that laws, even the laws that forms constitution that he is talking about, are derived from the principles of morality. Are you getting me? Which is the science of right and wrong. Which to say law is based on morality. When you go ask anybody who studied law, I'm sure they will tell you this as they move on during the study jurisprudence and what have you. So we must first of all understand what morality is. You cannot give what you don't have. Nemo that could none have best. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have understanding of morality inside you, what is right, what is wrong. Like our leadership, federal, state and local government, they don't know that to inflate cost of projects and act of corruption. They see it as, oh, I am in government now, it is my turn. It is my turn to work now. You have done your own, you shop your own, let me shop my own. That is the way we, and it is because they do not know the principles of morality that when you are in political office, you do not steal from the Commonwealth. So that is it. So my major concern on character reformation for the people of Nigeria that I have had for so long in life is not to preach to get political power. No, it's to preach just like John the Baptist in the wilderness. Continue to shout, repent, 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 repent. For the kingdom of God is at hand. The Muslims today, the Christians today, are they not in power? Are they not in governance? The people who are governors stealing dollars, people who are governors stealing naira, stealing pounds, local government chairman, ministers, director generals, who are still, are they not Christians and Muslims by orientation? Look at that. During the coronavirus pandemic, for instance, our leadership at the national, state and local government level do not have the moral knowledge that once you telling the people to stay back at home, represent the majority of our people work and they don't earn salary. They are artisans who live daily, work that they do to be able to get money. You didn't know that the money should be given out to them quickly, only for people to start looting, to now open their houses, to now see that the palliative, wonderful, were stashed away. Some of them were even spoiling. Mighty God, what kind of leadership is that? They don't have morality. You must have morality to apply the rules and regulations of society. And once you don't have morality, you cannot give what you don't have. That's why his comment is justified. Because the people who are there today, they don't know their left from their right. They continue to enter political power is to continue to acquire and acquire and acquire. But one thing that I remind people today is that once any man dies, the other day we have Mugugili, John Mugugili, the president of Tanzania, died at 61. He will bury him, he will not go with anything. Yaradua also died. He was not buried with anything, with any money or anything. Abacha died. Can people realize that once you are appointed a political leader, that you have the privilege, the rare privilege, to serve your society, to serve fellow human beings under God, so that once you are given account of yourself, you, even though anybody is calling you that you keep another, you say, no, I have my files of record.
And Rajayi, we want to thank you so much. We want to thank you for finding time to be with us on this program. Thank you for your talk.
It's my pleasure, and I want to conclude by saying, for God's sake, as we live in Nigeria today, Nigeria in a state of disarray. Can we please ensure that through leadership we begin to show good example of how people should not feel marginalized? We have to show good example of how people should collectively own the country. We have to show good example of how to economically empower your citizens, so that the youth that we have will not constitute themselves into banditry, into kidnappers, or even joining the Boko Haram that has vowed to kill this country. And that is also why we are talking about living in peaceful harmony, integrating Nigeria. We have it. That's why we can say it. But in the land, people have different dealings and different callings. Thank you for the impact of the program. Thank your radio station. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. And that was our guest, Andrew Ajayi, initiator of character reformation and integration in Nigeria. Food for thought for us. And I'd like to thank you, Kenchat, for connecting us with the people this morning. And Wisdom for putting us in the pictures. We'll be back with perspectives tomorrow. Good morning.